Danganronpa, the series known for three things: murder, Pepto-Bismol blood, and a name that everyone loves to pretend they don't know how to pronounce. It's a series of murder mystery visual novel games revolving around the students of Hope's Peak Academy, a school for teens with special talents, who then get trapped there and are told they need to kill someone if they want to leave. When someone does die, they hold a class trial to find out who did it, and the loser is executed. So far, there have been 3 mainline games, a third-person shooter side game, some light novels, and a couple animes. But with the creator having left Spike Chunsoft after the most recent game, that being V3, fans were left wondering what would come next for the series. And Spike Chunsoft delivered with a non-canon board game spin-off. Alright. Yeah, so Danganronpa V3 had this optional board game thing you unlock after beating the main game, where you can make a team of 4 characters from across the series and use them in this retro JRPG style monster gauntlet thing. As you traverse the board, you increase your stats and see unique interactions between characters from different games. Makoto and Nagito? Sure. Shuichi and Kyoko? You got it. Teru and Miu? Actually, let's not put those two in the same room. Anyway, this is basically an expanded version of that, but with additional characters and a lot more new events. It's the type of game that you're only really going to care about if you're already a fan of the series. Otherwise, you'll just be completely in the dark about who these characters are and why you should care about them. Unless you bought it for the gameplay, but I mean, come on, we all know why you bought this. When we start the game,
Danganronpa S Ultimate Summer Camp.
That was a lot louder than I expected. When we start the game, we're greeted with a familiar scene before jumping back in time, where we're introduced to the story of this game, if you can call it that. In this alternate universe, nothing bad ever happened at Hope's Peak, and with all the students conveniently in their 3rd year at the same time, somehow, the students and their families are put into a virtual reality summer camp to develop their talents before they graduate, and they can't leave until they collect all the Hope fragments. But Monokuma, who in this timeline is more cartoon evil than deranged evil, he summons a ton of monsters onto the island, and it's up to the students of Hope's Peak Academy to destroy them all by playing the world's most convoluted game of Monopoly. It's at this point that the game officially starts. All you have to do is choose a character and... Oh no. It's a gacha game. I mean, the one in V3 was sort of a gacha game too, but you didn't actually spend real money on it. If anyone out there wants to 100% this game, I can only hope their wallet can survive. Where are the mana coins when you need them? You have 50 turns to roll the die and work your way towards the various bosses while landing on different event spaces to increase your stats. There are enemy spaces where you're thrown into a turn-based battle with a monster, event spaces where some random thing will happen that'll affect your stats, and friendship spaces that have the bulk of the unique character interactions. It's not very complicated, so you shouldn't have much of a problem making your way through the board. And did the game just crash? All you really need to do is try to level up and take down as many of the bosses as possible while collecting the scrolls scattered throughout the island, then try your hand at the Tower of Despair mode once you have a full party of 4. As you play the game, you can obtain the different types of currency that you can use to roll for characters at the Mono machines, or you can just spend real money to buy each character directly. Tagami would be proud. Or appalled, not sure which. Hey, random thought, do you think Chiaki plays a lot of gacha games? Like, if she's a master of almost every genre, she must be good at those too, right? But how do you define being good at a gacha game when it's all pay to win anyway? Does she have crazy gacha luck, or would she be good without the best characters? And if Celeste is the ultimate gambler, then would she just pull whatever she wants on the first try? I mean, she has never lost a bet after all. And you got Nagito and Izuru. In this essay, I will rank each Danganronpa character on their proficiency at gacha games, wherein I will form a tier list ranking... I could go into the different abilities and spells you use in battle, but I'm gonna be honest, it doesn't really matter. I don't think anyone is really trying to become an S-tier Danganronpa Ultimate Summer Camp player. Just increase your stats, use whatever spells you think will work, and try to get through as much of the board as possible, while reminiscing about all the good times you had at Jabberwock Island and Danganronpa 2. Remember Titty Typhoon? I didn't remember Titty Typhoon. Now I remember Titty Typhoon. Thank you, Danganronpa Ultimate Summer Camp. And that's about it. Not much else to say about this game. You do the board game and fight monsters, but if you're like me, you'll probably just ignore the JRPG stuff and just keep landing on friendship spaces repeatedly until you see all the events. I guess the only way to describe this game is just the pure essence of fan service. If you're a fan of the series, you'll buy it to see all your beloved characters again, and you should end up having a decent enough time with it. Overall, I'd give it a 6 out of 10. Yeah, I think that's fair. The gameplay's nothing special, but if you like the minigame in V3, then you'll like it here too. As long as there aren't any more random crashes like earlier. At the very end, really. So one day after I finished recording the gameplay footage for this video, I was scrolling through Amazon when I suddenly saw something strange. It was one of those bunny girl Chiaki figures, but I couldn't help but notice it was only about 30 bucks. Normally I'd just assume it was a scam and keep scrolling, but the reviews piqued my curiosity. I was expecting it to be all negative. I mean, for this cheap, they have to either be bootlegs or just defective, right? But I also noticed a lot of positive reviews in the mix too. Sure, they were all partially broken, but they were apparently still pretty decent quality all things considered if you were willing to put up with it. So, in the spirit of gacha games, I bought one. It is only now sinking in that I spent money on this. A couple months went by and it finally arrived packaged in such terrible conditions that FedEx would be proud. Side note, there's some Chinese writing on the side that Google Translate tells me says chemical intercourse. So, for my sake, I hope that's a mistranslation. I pulled out the second box and found that even though it was in pretty rough shape, the figure looked surprisingly intact. The worst I could say about it is that there were a few weird marks and stains on it here and there, which, now that I say that out loud, I realize you shouldn't want to see weird stains on your anime girl figure, but I'm sure it's probably fine. So yeah, if anything, I got it better off than everyone else in the reviews. You know, I was so sure this thing would be shipped to me in a million tiny pieces that I don't even know what the lesson is anymore. I thought I was gonna dismantle the reasoning behind Gacha, but like, I got what I asked for, it's here, and fully intact. So I guess the takeaway is gacha at your own risk? Yeah, let's just go with that. Anyway, I'm Evan, subscribe if you want to see more, and in the meantime, here's Monokuma dancing.